வணக்கம், இது ஸ்டோரிஸ் வித் செல்வி. உங்களுடன் தாமரை செல்வி. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கேட்க போறது சஸ்பென்ஸ் நிறைஞ்ச ஒரு இங்கிலீஷ் த்ரில்லர், Havoc Says Hi. வாங்க கதைக்குள்ள போகலாம்.
Chapter 6 Office Life. From Lakshmi at expedius.co.in to Hari at terabyte.com. CC Anita Jagadeesan /TVM/MUM Shakti S/TVM/MUM Fakruk /TVM/MUM Sam Edwards at expedius.co.in. Dear Hari, I would like to thank you as well as congratulate you for the wonderful decision you made in selecting our company as your partner, and we would be delighted to work with your concern, which stands from day one as a quality innovator. And I would also like to introduce our consultant Anita, who would be taking care of the implementation. As you may know her, she did the best estimation report for your project which you appreciated. Thanks and regards. Lakshmi Rajendran M, Senior Consultant, Expedius Consultancy Services. Congrats Anita, this is a big thing. Within 3 months, Shakti uttered in his Bihari accent standing behind her. AJ turned towards him with a smile which would make anyone fall in love with her. A smile which started from her eyes and flowed down through her straight nose to her lips, which flowered into a beautiful epiphany, presenting her bright white teeth in its flawless rows, trying to hide her happiness. There was something about her smile. It was a smile seasoned by her life. Life was not in its pleasant mood when it came to her, but she learned to face it with a practiced smile. It's not that big. She maintained her modesty by switching her monitor off, which showed her appreciation mail. Appreciation mail on your part and CC to her boss? That is really a big thing. Soon you might even get a call from Fagruk. Who knows? Shakti boosted. Her smile stayed in her face without any interference. Shakti, for a second thought, got lost admiring her smile. AJ's mind began to roll back to the past. 3 months back, on the first day at this very office, she didn't even have a clue on what she was supposed to do, except to wait for people like Archana to boss her. But now, she was getting appreciation from her boss on her work well done. She was glad for one thing, if not for all. Archana's transfer to Delhi, as she got engaged to marry a wealthy pawnbroker from the North New Delhi. Anita felt relieved when she got the news. Shakti, anyone can do anything in an IT company. Her voice was sweet as it ever could be, but her face didn't copy that. She, without waiting for him to respond to her statement, turned back to her monitor, trying to avoid continuing that conversation. Shakti stood there waiting for her to turn back at him, just to be sure that he didn't miss an opportunity to talk to AJ, but once 60 seconds elapsed, he understood. She didn't want to turn back. It was for him to be shamed. He stood there. He felt abashed by her act. He looked around to see if anyone had witnessed his embarrassment, and once he was sure no one did, he moved to his seat, 4 cubicles away from where he was, without any second thought feeling irritated. Shakti was a tall dark guy from Bihar with a perfect oval face and high cheekbones. With his cropped hair for military look and his masculine body made him challenge the makers of Greek gods, and in a simple word, he was a perfect ladies' man in a girl's view. He had a liking for AJ and even approached her a few times for coffee, which she rejected diplomatically. Immediately after Shakti had settled in his seat, a head sprang out from her immediate next cubicle. What? AJ sternly asked with a raised eyebrow at the dark-haired girl who chuckled at her. Nothing, just came to say hi and congrats. Poonam hideously smiled. She walked into AJ's cubicle and sat over her desk, hanging her legs free in the chair. Poonam was the youngest girl in her team. She was an engineering fresher who recently joined her team to help AJ in implementation work. But it was AJ who helped Poonam in coding most of the time. She was a fair girl with enormous eyes, which she highlighted by applying large amounts of coil around her eyes. Thank you. AJ ignored her and acted like working. So, Shakti was here, huh? Poonam rolled her eyes and leaned over AJ's desk. Yeah, so? Still eyes fixated over the blinking screen, AJ answered. Why don't you go out with him? Poonam asked her usual question for which she already knew the answer. AJ stopped typing and looked at Poonam. I have told you 1,000,000 times. He is not my type. I have a lot of important things than this. She pushed Poonam from leaning over her handbag. What are you saying? He looks like a dark chocolate. I would eat him alive. Poonam smacked her lips. If you don't like it, I will take him, Poonam pleaded. Though it looked like she was just making fun of AJ, AJ knew that Poonam had a crush on Shakti ever since she joined the company. Almost everyone in her office knew about this but ignored it. No one treated Poonam seriously. She was a cute kid with big eyes for everyone. AJ got irritated with her doings, but she tried to hide it. She tried to act like a big sister for Poonam. She was the only child for her parents, so she didn't get the chance to be a sister. Poonam's carefree attitude and childish talks made AJ take the position of her sister. She secretly loved it. Shut up and go to your work, AJ whispered in Poonam's ears as she understood it was not right to get angry with Poonam. Sure, madam. Congrats for your appreciation mail and thank you for giving away Shakti. Poonam winked. Welcome. AJ smiled and got back to her work. After 15 minutes, could you please come to my cabin? Lakshmi's voice on the other end on AJ's extension phone said, Okay, Lakshmi. AJ consented her obedience. She had expected this call from the moment the mail arrived. She knew with all her heart that it would be regarding the implementation committee formation. AJ was excited beyond what surfaced in her reaction. A fresher to implement a project was something never heard of in the company's history. She called her only close friend Darshini to share her happiness, and Darshini was equally excited. Lakshmi's cabin was a 4x4 room situated right outside the block of the room where AJ worked. It was a nice room with a split AC and nicely stacked desk with all the materials needed for a manager, from a copier machine to coffee vending machine. She reached Lakshmi's cabin and stood before the glass panel. Lakshmi was a lady in her mid-40s with square frame spectacles which was just for her reading purposes. Her eyes had dark circles which explained her reading habits, and half of her hair had turned grey due to work tension. She looked like a woman who would not waste her time coloring her hair. Instead, would invest it in making money by starting a salon. Her eyes were glued to the papers she held in her hands. She rolled out the papers. Her eyes didn't know that AJ was waiting for her outside the doors. She was pretty much immersed inside the contents of the sheets. AJ was nervous, waiting for the news. She got impatient and opened the stainless glass door and greeted Lakshmi. Excuse me, Lakshmi, you call me. Lakshmi looked at AJ with half-raised spectacles. For a second, Lakshmi seemed to be confused about AJ's visit. But later, when she recollected the reason, she gave her a warm smile and said, Yes, Anita, regarding the project implementation. Come, sit. She motioned her hand towards a vacant seat. It's okay, Lakshmi. AJ chose to stand. Lakshmi smiled at AJ and came to the point. We are grouping a set of SMEs, subject matter experts, from our company to assist you and work together with you under my guidance. That fell as a thunder on AJ. AJ felt bad hearing what she had said. AJ wanted to work on this project alone, but now she had to let go of her expectation and work under her boss. AJ always knew it was just a namesake thing to put her name as a consultant before the clients to blame her in case it became a failure. But when it was officially announced at that moment by Lakshmi, she felt disappointed. She, for the first time, felt the ugliness of politics smile behind her back. She wanted to leave the room that instant. The idea of quitting the job crossed over her mind, but she had to compromise it for her little ambition and the smiles of her small friends in the slum. Unable to hide the disappointment in her eyes, AJ flowered into a sad smile. Sensing the tension which was beginning to build due to the silence, Lakshmi thought it should be better if she broke the ice. It's not my decision alone. If it had been my own choice, I would reject all the members and allow you to own the project and implement it alone. Lakshmi patted AJ's shoulder. Our management knows about your good work. You are a great resource, and by the end of this project implementation, I will personally talk to Farooq and arrange your project completely owned by you. Lakshmi added her words which AJ knew would never become action. It's okay, ma'am, AJ replied in a defeated voice. AJ was not able to control her grief, but she managed it by controlling her words instead. Lakshmi had to ignore this. She had the experience under her belt to know the right time to ignore the reactions of her subordinates, and also she couldn't find any appropriate words to make AJ gay. So she tried not to look AJ in her eyes, trying to shift the focus to another matter in the process of trying to get out of this awkwardness. Lakshmi said in a serious tone, See this. Lakshmi tilted her laptop for AJ's view. AJ tried craning her neck to see what was there. Since it was not a very comfortable position for AJ to view from the opposite side, Lakshmi turned it completely towards AJ. "This is a list of guys who are going to be part of our team," pointing towards the screen. The list had 4 names, but Lakshmi stopped at the last one and placed her finger over the screen and said, "This guy is going to be in charge of security and backup system installations of our department. Sam thinks he is the next big thing and has personally invited him inside this project, even though he is just having 3 months experience. Just like you." Lakshmi pressed over her last 3 words. All these talk didn't interest AJ until the duration 3 months was mentioned. AJ peered at the name after Lakshmi removed her finger from that name. Vijay Mohan. Sadness from her face vanished while surprise and confusion took over its place. It was a coincidence to find his name once again. Is this the same Vijay from Anna University? She asked herself, unable to believe it.
இந்த பதிவு உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா மறக்காம லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. என்னோட பதிவுகளை உடனுக்குடனே தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்காக பெல் பட்டனையும் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. மீண்டும் அடுத்த அத்தியாயத்தில் சந்திப்போம். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.